Do any of you do kind of basic research, like did you go to Caltech, or did you study people with OCD, or did you turn into a dog?
Yeah, I did. I mean, I actually...
It's your turn.
I've been a dog for a long time. No, I mean, I actually did go on Wikipedia and look up the myth of the shapeshifter, and there was so much stuff out there that was contradictory. I mean, it was sort of like I had to kind of make up my own thing on that one. But I kind of, for me, I kind of just play it as just a guy, because, you know, when I turn into an animal, they just stick an animal there, and the animal does a great job on its own. So I actually don't have to worry about it. Like, half my job's done for me every time.
You don't have notes for the dog?
Yeah, sometimes I'm offended by the animals they choose to turn me into. Like a fly and stuff. Dung beetle.
I wouldn't bark like that.
What?
I wouldn't bark like that.
The accent is all wrong.
Exactly. Yeah, the animal trainers are really weird too. They're very bizarre people. Yeah.
We had snakes on the show the other day, and they were great.
Were there elements of yourself that you saw in these characters at all, or were they just completely foreign objects?
Well, I mean, you know, for me, I mean, obviously the shape-shifting thing, you know, I didn't have any idea about that. For me, like, I kind of, it did happen that I was kind of like the character, and I think Alan Ball is really good at casting, and I think he got a lot of people that were sort of like their characters. And for me, I traveled around a lot when I was a kid, and I was always a new kid in school, and so I kind of had a little bit of a secret thing and kind of withheld thing, and I feel like my character on True Blood has that. I mean, obviously he had the shape-shifting ability that he kept hidden, and a lot of other things about his life, and there are these flashbacks, and you kind of, you know, find out what his life was like, and that's, as an actor, that's really fun. And the more screwed up it is, actually, the better. You know, like they had me flashback last year, and I'd shot 2 people. And that's always fun, like running around with a gun and shooting people. You know, I mean, on a show.
Do you all have that? Is there anything that you learn from the characters that you play that you take back into your own kind of self-perception? Do playing these roles, they changed you at all? Nobody?
Not really.
A lot of what not to do, maybe.
Yeah.
In terms of the geekiness of your shows in the in their place in the world, do you find a lot of these shows have very ardent fan bases? Do you find that there are different kind of reaction you get from people that are your fans, and on previous things you've worked on? Is it more crazy, or just more group oriented?
I didn't have any fans before. You know, but sometimes I go to there are these comic book conventions that happen across the country. Some people, what? Have you been to one?
Nobody here has been.
Nobody's been. Nobody's been. You don't know what I'm talking about. But I'll see people there, and they're the really like ardent, true fans, and they tend to like to dress up like the characters, and there'll be a lot of sooky waitresses there, and that becomes like an artistic expression for them. I thought that was you, Houston.
God.
And the True Blood fan?
Oh, I mean, you know, it's funny. I mean, everybody always says, "God, you must have the weirdest fans," but not really. They're just. The weird thing is a really wide variety of people. It's a lot of security people at airports. I've noticed, actually. But they don't let me go through quicker at all. I don't get any kind of a deal.
You're a shapeshifter. What are they?
They're like, yeah.
Turn into a TSA worker.
Right. Right. But for some reason, airports we're big in airports. I don't know why. They should be watching the monitors on the show. Really, nobody's gonna help me on that one. It's so bad. It's so bad.
No, that was awesome.
Why am I sitting next to you? You're like, he's funny.
You are the I really did. You are. No, I'm not kidding when I say this. But when I watch True Blood with my wife, we love your because you. I'm not kidding. I'm not trying to.
Were you afraid that he might have thought you were hitting on him?
Really awkward right now.
That's what people used to do with. That's what fans of 6 Feet Under, like so many men, be like, dude, I love your show, but my girlfriend and I love your show.
No, my wife is my beard, definitely. Never imagined I'd have a shot with a celebrity, but you provide a great comic relief for True Blood.
That can't be true.
That is true.
Sam is not. Is he funny?
You're
Really?
Oh, sorry.
Yes. Own it. That's nice of you to say. I never really saw that, but I'll take it. I will so take it.
When I watched True Blood with Joel's wife,
What the? We expand the demographic.
I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying anything.
I wish the moderator would chime in.
True Blood feels kind of like a show about misfits, and so I think the show fits into this, the theme of tonight in that sense. And yeah, I mean, sort of like the vampires are sort of a downtrodden group, and they can be a metaphor if you want to go that way, and for whatever you want that's downtrodden, and so he's oh gosh, I almost revealed something. Everybody dies. Jeez, yeah, everybody's dead. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's just in that sense that it's kind of a show about misfits trying to fit in a way, and the consequences of that, assimilating. So I think a lot of the people that watch it that feel like they don't quite fit in, maybe identify with some of the characters because of that.
You guys are from a lot of different types of shows, so if you had a choice of which of each other's shows you guest star on, which would you want to guest star?
I did guest star on his show, and he killed me.
That's right.
In the second episode. I was in saran wrap for 4 hours. I'm not kidding. And the only reason I got out of the saran wrap because it was because it was lunch. And so everybody was like, "Okay, we'll let you out."
And that was early. That was early on. That's before we learned about putting things under the knees and the pressure points.
My arms, I lost feeling in my arms. Yeah.
Is this a love scene?
For Dexter, it is.
Afraid it was. Yeah.
Hi, this question is for Sam. In terms of the books that the True Blood is based on, how much have, even if the plot's different, how much have you and the other actors been informed by the characters as these books proceed? How involved that storyline?
How much have we been informed by our characters in the books?
Yeah, in terms of the characters, even if it doesn't follow the plot or not.
Right. Well, I know a lot of, because they're like, for those of you who don't know, they're like 10 books in this Sophie Stackhouse series, and we sort of follow, to a certain degree, each book, each season, so we're in the 4th book this year. I know for me, I read 4 books, exactly, so far. Just to make sure like I wasn't a transvestite or something in book 4. But I know that a lot of the other actors didn't read them at all, and they're like, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna, I've got my own thing, and so everybody kind of had their own sort of approach to it, and I, the scripts are kind of so, we jump off from the books, but they're so different that I kind of just focus more on Alan and the writers and the scripts than what's there in the book, even though she wrote like, amazing, jumping off spots for us and a great world.
Sam, go ahead.
I came from New York, and it feels like everybody that I knew is here now. They all came, like literally, all, like my generation of actors all came here. So I know like 2 people in New York now. It's crazy, really weird, but yeah. I mean, LA's great. For me, I sort of site specifically got into like surfing, which is kind of a thing you can do here, and that kind of made it nice for me. So.